he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night who worships the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. You tell me, is it important for us to know who the beast is? Absolutely. Is it vital for us to know what the image to the beast is? Absolutely, because if we don't know, we probably will end up worshiping these powers. Now, I'd like to take you just for a moment to an event that is going to take place after the millennium. And a little later on in this lecture, we're going to come back to this point, but I want to introduce our subject by referring to an event that will take place after the millennium. You see, folks, after the 1,000 years, there will only be two groups. One group will be the saved. They are in the holy city. Outside the holy city are the lost. Not three groups, but two groups. The saved in the city and the lost outside the city. Now let me ask you this question. Those people who are in the city, were they sinners? Of course they were sinners. Those outside the city, were they sinners? Sure. In other words, you have sinners outside and you have sinners inside. And so the question is, what made the difference between the sinners inside and the sinners outside? Does God show partiality towards some while he doesn't favor others? Why are the saved in the city and why are the wicked outside the city? I'd like to read this verse, Revelation 22, actually two verses, Revelation 22 and verses 14 and 15, where these two groups are spoken of. It says there, and I'm reading from the New King James Version, which is the version that we've been using in our seminar, "Blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city." So there you have one group that do the commandments. Other versions say wash their robes. They are inside the holy city and they have the right to eat from the tree of life. But then you have another group, verse 15. "But outside are dogs and sorcerers and sexually immoral and murderers and idolaters and whoever loves and practices a lie." And so you have two groups. One inside the city and the other outside the city. Inside are those who keep God's commandments or wash their robes. Outside the city, you have those who disobey God's holy commandments. Because the list of things in verse 15 are things that violate principles that we find in the Ten Commandments. Now today we're going to talk about the wrath of God that will fall upon the wicked that will eventually be outside the holy city. And I'd like to invite you to turn in your Bibles with me to Revelation chapter 15 and verse 1. And you're going to see why I started this lecture by referring to the two groups of sinners. One saved group of sinners and one lost group of sinners. What made the difference? Well, we just read that those inside keep the commandments, or they wash their robes. Those outside practice these evil deeds in violation of God's commandment. But there's more to the story than this, because we're not saved by keeping God's commandments. Keeping God's commandments, we'll see, is a fruit of something else.